So what was the frame everybody was telling themselves in 2008? This is terrible. Yeah. The frame I was telling myself is this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Everybody's scared. This is great. So check this out. When I moved, right? 2007, 17 deals. Next year, 50. Next year, 75. Next year, 89. Next year, 100. And remember, with this anointing, appointing in the season of disappointment, do you know why it exists? It exists because in the season of disappointment, you create the character. So that way, when you get to your appointment, you will never leave. You can stay there. I never did less than 100 transactions a year for 10 years after that. And I did 200 deals a year twice. So while I may be sitting here in this season of kind of disappointment, there's a frame that I can tell myself, yes? So one frame that I can tell myself is what? Drop in the chat what frame you could tell yourself about 2024. Election year. Yeah, that's good. What else? It's time to launch. It was bad for everyone. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Liz. I just moved into the area. It's a stepping stone. Yeah? These are interesting. So that's one frame that you can tell yourself. You know what another frame is? Man, this is an opportunity for me to get faster, quicker, stronger, and more adaptable. Yes? What do I mean by adaptable? Well, money has an addictive quality, and because of it, we get addicted to the way that we receive it. I'm going to say that to you again, not because you didn't hear me, but because it's important. Money has an addictive quality, and because of it, we get addicted to the way that we receive it. So guess what? What was working for Sherry in 2022 with a high degree of probability isn't working as well in 2024. But because I'm addicted to the way that I receive it, what do I keep doing? Going back to the same thing. And what ends up happening is I'm not adapting. Yes? Listen, you know what Darwin says? It's not the fastest, not the quickest, not the strongest, not the prettiest, not the ones who have the most followers on Instagram. It's the ones that are the most adaptable to change. That's a fact. Okay. So we can begin with that frame. That's the frame that we're going to use going into 2025, because what I know in 2025 to be true with a high degree of probability, guys, is it's going to be about the same. Do you know the last time we saw a drop from this magnitude? So 7 million to like 3.8 million in volume. That's what's true. The last time there was that big of a drop. Do you know how long it took to get to the previous high, Anna? A decade. 10 years. Of about the same. My grandpa taught me something a long time ago. You know what he said to me? Hope is a beautiful word. It is a piss poor business strategy. Ask yourself a question. Jen, have you been hoping? Oh, I just hope rates come down. I hope it gets better. I hope something changes. Yeah. Yeah. Hoping, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful word. I love the word, but it's not a great business strategy. So the frame that we can use is I think you need an accurate assessment of reality in order to produce a good outcome. You have to see what's true, Alejandra. So in other words, what would happen if, let's say I said to everybody on this call, like, we're going to go out in negative 14-degree weather and we're going to go swimming and we're going to think positive thoughts. What's going to happen? We're going to die of hypothermia. That's what's going to happen. Yes? Yes. So some people, when I give them an accurate assessment of reality, you know what they say to me? They stand firmly like this and they go, well, you're just being negative. I'm like, bro, that's immature. I need to see what's true so then I can make decisions in accordance with what's true and get what I want. So with that, I want to give you some tactical information. So if we can expect that 2025, maybe we have 10% more transactions. Let's put this at like 4 million, which is not a huge bump. Okay. So it's about the same. So tactically, what do I need to be doing? How do I need to be adapting, Sherry? Not hoping, adapting. Well, let's think about this logically. If the amount of people that are transacting has dropped dramatically, can we all agree on that? Yes or yes? That means there's less what? Opportunities. which means, therefore, if there is opportunities, there's more people chasing them, which means you're competing more. Yes? So wouldn't it logically make sense that I need to get razor sharp on what to say and how to say it? Let me ask everybody on this question by a show of hands. How many people role play every day? That's fascinating to me because everybody else seems to be independently wealthy. Isn't that going against what's true? Isn't that saying to myself, hey, I can go swim in a 14-degree weather and think happy thoughts and I'm going to not get hypothermia? 100%. I need to have razor sharp skills. You know what I realize, guys? I'm going to say something to you and I want everybody to really hear me, okay? The money's not in the service, it's in the selling of the service. The money's not in the service, it's in the selling of the service. I'll prove my point. Do we all have a license to perform the same services? Do we all make the same amount of money? Why not? Some people know how to sell the service better than others. Yes? So Jen, it would logically make sense that I spend a lot of time learning how to sell the service if you want to make money. Yeah? You know, people telling me like, I love houses. I'm like, that's disgusting. You know how many houses I've been in where I had to burn my suit because it was like a cat farm? Or they're like, I love people. I'm like, you have not dealt with enough people. Yeah? So when I realized that the money wasn't in the service, it was in the selling of the service. Remember, in that season of disappointment, I moved to Florida and Miami, and there's all these competitors. I started role playing twice a day, 6 days a week. I did that for 3 years in a row. Because I don't know if you guys realize this, there's no security in this business. There's only opportunities, Lindsay. And you know what I never wanted to say, Narmeen, to my wife, Carla? Hey, you know what? We can't send the kids to private school because they said to me, your commission's too high. And I didn't know what to say. I verbally vomited and I left and they listed with somebody else. Or they told me, Anna, I want to think about it. And I walked out and I'm like, well, they had a puppy and I had a puppy. I think we connected. And then Aaron went in and he listed the property. As Jim Rohn would say, these are called the facts. It's the way it is. Yeah. So if I am, what I would propose 2025 as a roadmap, make sure you are working on your skills every single day. There's less opportunities, more competition. You're competing more on listing presentations. Yes. People have more choices and options, do they not? So how can I be possibly hallucinating that I'm going to sell with personality? Everybody look at me very closely. You are not that cool. And you're also not that cute. Yeah? Let's just go on that. Like, let's go on that assumption. Okay. Second thing is better tools. So let's think about this. Because what we do in this business doesn't change. How we do it and how much of it we do is what changes based on environments. Yeah? So if we are in an environment where there's a lot less transactions, what does that mean for the amount of people that I'm going to have to speak to in order to find the people that are going to do something? Look at Renee. It's going to go up. Yes? So guess what, Allison? If you were making 10 contacts or not even calling anybody 2 years ago and making money and thinking you're hot stuff, that is not working today, team. Nope, not going to cut it. Okay. So if that's logical, I'm going to have to speak to more people, right? To find people. Because did you guys know that 90% of everybody who has a mortgage right now has an interest rate less than 6%? Yeah. So that means I got to talk to way more people to find the people that are ready to do something. Do you know the amazing, intricate things we do, Jennifer, to avoid actually talking to people? It's fantastically like amazing. Okay. It's called creative avoidance behavior. Yeah. I remember somebody like, well, you got to build a brand. I gave a talk at the Association of Hispanic Realtors, and this lady was like, oh, you got to build a brand. And like, I'm like, well, a couple things. She was like a model. And I wanted to raise my hand and say, hey, can I ask you a question? Yeah. How many people in this audience look like you? Oh, that's right. None. What's the probability that anybody's going to get a TV show like you? Oh, that's right. 0. So everything you're saying to people is not going to actually help them. Yes? So better tools. Do you know that the best tools out there make like 7 to 8 contacts an hour? What if I told you that there were tools where you can make 30 to 40 contacts an hour? Is that a superior tool? 100%. Write this down.